Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. Well, welcome back if you're not new here, but if you are new here, hello, my name is Alexus Carr. I do gaming videos as well as kind of like in real life videos, I guess you can call them. Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you guys are new around here, hi, my name is Alexus Carr and I make gaming videos and in real life videos, if that's what you want to call them. I have not recorded a video, oh that's a lie, I have not uploaded a video in almost a month, and I'm so sorry about that. It was not intentional at all whatsoever. I recorded videos, but they just didn't come out right. Like if you guys watch my 7 toddler challenge, I recorded another 7 toddler challenge. It just, like, The Sims is unplayable right now, guys. And my last video that I recorded was my future in Korea. And if you guys haven't watched that video yet, then go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and leave it in the cards right here. So what are we doing today now that I haven't been here for what seems like forever? I've actually planned to read my Wattpad drafts from like years ago. If you guys have no idea what Wattpad is, it is a I guess you can say like writing platform. I used to write on there because if you guys did watch my video, then you guys would know that I wanted to become a writer whenever I was younger. Yeah, so I don't know, I used Wattpad whenever in like what, 2010, 11? I don't remember. So we're going to actually go between Wattpad and like my actual Google Drafts because I have deleted some things off of Wattpad that I do have in my Google Drafts, so we'll see. But we're gonna go ahead and start with the oldest one that isn't actually the oldest one because it goes by which one you've last edited, not the one that like was written first. So I think it's unedited, right? So this story is called It Gets Better. I will try my best to put up the screen recording that I'm doing right now because I'm doing one. And I don't know, I'm just really nervous because I know whenever I look back at things, look at this. I entered this in the Waddies 2016. My god, that's so long ago. I know whenever I reread things that I wrote a really long time ago, it kind of just triggers me because it's all very old and cringy. So we're just gonna read this. So we're just going to read the story description. This is actually something that I've been writing and still continuously write. I've decided to make it like my first script, so I'm writing it in like Celtics, if you guys know what that is. It's like a screenwriting or script writing platform because you can also write gaming scripts on there. So the story title is It Gets Better, unedited, Waddies 2016, which was the last time I think I uploaded. No, 2017 is the last time I uploaded something for this. So the story description says Rebecca Anderson had lived a normal life for years. She had divorced parents, a twin brother, a distant sister, a best friend, and an ex-boyfriend, just like any other teenage girl did. When Brendan Masters stepped foot in the Andersons' house, it was as if he was the drastic change no one was waiting for. From the day he entered to the day he left, the presence of Brendan brought nothing good anyone's way. He didn't mean to get her involved. He did... Ooh, this is a long description. He didn't mean to get her involved. He didn't mean to bring up the past, but he did. And there was no changing it. Now Rebecca has to live with the truth and the secret and the lies. Because if things got better, she just needed to learn who not to trust. Dramatic. I've always been really bad at like story descriptions. It was like the worst thing ever for me to write because it's like I know what I want to do in my head, but I just don't know how to tell other people what I want to do. You get me? Yeah, you get me. So we're gonna start with chapter 1. I don't think I'm gonna go through all of the chapters because this one has like 44 chapters and I never finished it. I think I got to like 37. I think it was 37. I got to chapter 37. 40, it could be 40, 41. Okay, I almost finished. But I would name the chapters first before I wrote them just so I wouldn't forget what I wanted to do. So we're gonna start with chapter 1. Oh my god. Okay, we're just gonna do with the introduction. This is gonna be so bad. I wrote this such a long time ago. I made different faces in my vanity mirror, curls of black hair falling over my shoulders, clear gray eyes staring back at me. That, I always had this obsession with like gray eyes. I used to have a friend that wore contacts all of the time, and I forget what color they were, but it made me want gray eyes. Like I always wanted gray eyes. I still to this day wish I had gray contacts just so I can wear them. I might get some gray contacts, depends. I've been thinking about that. I might have to move out of my apartment, so I haven't been buying anything just in case. Some faces made me look identical to my mom, others to my dad, but there was only one other person I knew I'd always look identical to. Rebecca, hurry up, my twin brother Ryder called me from the foyer downstairs, his voice bouncing off my walls like a pinball machine. I stepped back once the glass was free from my grasp and asked the question I had been asking myself all week. Why are we allowing some stranger into our family and dad can't come back? When I was young, I really wanted that to be like this sentence that was like foreshadowing the fact that she had divorced parents, even though I said it in the story description. I don't know what's wrong with me. Did I even write that? So the kids obviously want their dad to come back. Obvious. I knew it was a childish question to ask, being old enough to understand the means of divorce and their reasons, but it still kind of hurt knowing we could house a stranger in need, but not my own dad. My mom sighed and began to set the table herself. Rebecca, you know that isn't how it goes. I nodded and bit my lips, straightening a few utensils as we made our way around the table. I'd appreciate it though if you'd stop bringing him up. She gave me a small smile, but I knew better. She wasn't smiling aside. She probably broke so bad and it was my fault. Thinking back at it, I'm not even really sure if I remember why her parents divorced. I do remember. It's actually because, and I'm just gonna say this because in the script that I'm writing, I think I'm gonna change this, but it was actually because her younger brother died in a car accident. I know that death does separate people, especially if it's their child, then yeah, they kind of separate from that. Yeah, sure. Do you want me to like, I sucked the inside of my cheek and she laid a hand on mine. I'm trying to think, what was I thinking she was doing? She gave me a small nod and I left the room, stopping just long enough to hear a held and sniffle escape from her. Mama's got some problems. Upstairs, everything was surprisingly quiet, unlike the usual music blaring of the usual music blaring of Ryder's music. Right, Alexus, okay. I stopped outside what used to be my older sister Hannah's room, and the door hadn't been open for a while. I mean, aside from today. Oh yeah, because I can't believe I skipped that part. I thought I was going like in the perfect spot, but I guess not, given I have not read this thing in like 3 years. So yeah, Ryder or Brendan, my god, Alexus. Brendan actually moved into her older sister Hannah's room, who's the distant sister from the story description. My eyes fell to the floor and I thought for just a minute that I could just quickly escape to my room across the hall and disappear for the next hour. But just as I moved back, the door opened and revealed a shirtless Brendan Masters. As a 17-year-old, you know I had to throw some fan service in there. If you guys have ever read a Wattpad story, it's just a given. I don't even think I described what Brendan looked like, but we can all imagine he's just really hot with his shirt off. I honestly couldn't help but stare at his abdomen, and not to just stare, okay, he had a scar, but instinctively bit my lip, mentally slapping myself as soon as he asked, may I help you? In italics, help. So it's pretty insensitive to stare at someone's scar. You could hear Ryder faintly laugh from behind the door right next to this one, saying there's no way you could help me of all people. I rolled my eyes and nodded. I just wanted to see how you were doing. That part, I always like wanted Ryder and Rebecca to have like this love-hate relationship. I personally don't have a brother. I have all sisters. I don't have a brother, so I always thought that that's what a relationship between a brother and a sister would be like. It's kind of like the brother bullying the sister, or like vice versa. It doesn't really matter who's bullying who, it's just they're bullying each other. I rolled my eyes and nodded. I just wanted to see how you were doing. Brendan looked me over and closed the door a bit to throw something onto the floor before coming into the hall. I've been here all of 5 minutes. Brendan isn't even the character that I like fell in love with. There's actually a character named Carlisle. Oh my god, I love this storyline so much. Who's just like the villain of the story. He gets to redeem himself in the end. He's my favorite character ever to write. He's just so hurt and I love him. I nodded again, but I mean, he didn't have to be so goddamn rude to me. Rocking on my heels, I tried to think of something to say. This silence was killing me. In all honesty, she could have just turned around and went into her room. I was just using this thing called manners. Wow. Yeah, I always liked the idea of like the main female character not being like a pushover, but I was reading a lot of like young adult teen books, and the main character was always like the sassy person. Walking halfway into the My tone was poisonous, a knife in a silent assassination. I don't even know how I wrote that. This caused him to scoff at me and twist the knob, leading to his temporary room. Walking halfway into the room, Brendan stopped and glanced at me, eyes meeting mine sadly and sighing. I tilted my head, a little creeped out, and he shook it off. walking back into his confided area. 100% could have written that better, but whatever. This Brendan character is getting under my skin, and I went back downstairs at the smell of fresh pizza and completely forgot the disrespectful foster kid upstairs as soon as my plate was set before me. At least I did before he marched in, suit and all. Okay, I don't think he's what? I don't think he's wearing an actual suit. I don't know why I wrote that. I think I meant like he just came in being, you know, Brendan Masters, being the presence that he is. This storyline actually changed a lot over the years because this was supposed to be like a 2-book series, and I ended up making a 3-book because I made a spin-off of Brendan's story. And then I was like, you know what? Brendan's actually the main character of this entire storyline. I don't know why I'm trying to tell it from Rebecca's point of view. I think because whenever I was writing in like 2015, which was whenever I originally wrote this, but whenever I wrote it, I was like, how am I supposed to write in a guy's point of view? Like, I don't know how to write in a guy's point of view because I'm not a dude. And then I thought about it, and I could just write in 3rd person. So that's what I did. This entire thing is supposed to follow Brendan's life instead of Rebecca's, which is what I did originally. And this was seriously the worst way I could start the school year. And I kind of figured the one of us would have to drive Brendan. Knowing Ryder, it was me. Let's go, I said, throwing my backpack over my shoulder and groaning. Well, good morning to you too. Brendan set the cup down and I watched it, knowing my mom would scold me for leaving it on her coffee table. That part, I do know why I put that part, because my grandma, she actually has coasters for her table because she hates us setting cups on her tables because she says it ruins them. So I kind of just wanted to put that in there from experience, because I know my grandmother would kill me if we put a cup of anything on her coffee table. I shrugged it off and stepped aside, immediately regretting not putting it up earlier. Putting the cup up? I don't know what I was even on. At 6 a.m. it shouldn't be this hot. I'm not a morning person, Masters. So the reason why I set them to getting ready for school at 6 a.m. was because I got ready for school at 6 a.m. in high school. I used to wake up at like 5 something and then like brush my teeth and all that other stuff. And then I would start getting ready around 6, and then I would leave at like 6:30 to make it by 7 to eat breakfast so that I would be in class by 7:30. I don't know how some people like eat breakfast at home before they go to school, and like they go to school before. So your school started at 8? My school does not start at 8. It started at 7:30, and that meant I had to wake up at like 5 something, or what was it, like 6:30 was the latest I could wake up. After school, I had baseball practice with my brother. Oh, Rebecca was a baseball player. I don't know what my obsession was with baseball at the time, but Rebecca was a baseball player, and I kind of liked the idea of her being the only girl on a guy's baseball team instead of her just playing softball. I don't know why I did that. I just thought it was cool. He had asked this question like, oh, can like girls be on guys teams, or like is there no point because they just make girl versions of guys sports? And so I just kind of wrote her into being a baseball player. Why? I still to this day don't know, but I think I want to make her a soccer player because I was a soccer player in high school. Ryder, hey wait, douche nut. I called as he attempted to ignore me, continuing to the diamond in his baseball uniform. He stopped when the words douche nut left my mouth and turned around to me, eyebrow raised. And of course, did you just call me a douche nut, he asked? And I jogged over, nodding at him. What the hell is that? I waved at him, rolling my eyes. We aren't discussing what a douche nut is, I said, my words fumbling over each other. I'm so nervous to read this, guys. Ryder shifted and threw the ball at Craig/Bonatello. Bonateo? I don't even remember how I pronounced that, and glanced at me. This better be important then. We gotta practice. The ball came back and I caught it before he could. Ryder glared at me and hid the ball in my glove. And I hid the ball in my glove? Sort of. He groaned and reached for the ball, but I had already thrown it to Bonatello myself. Anyways, Giovanna wants to go on a date with you. I cringed at the sound of it. The words sounded nothing like words I'd say. Giovanna was actually Rebecca's like enemy in school, who's also one of my favorite characters. I love all of the bad characters in my stories because it's like I made them bad, but they are so great. Like they're just great people in general. She's a character. She's definitely 100% a character. Yeah, I don't remember why I made Rebecca tell in the newer version. Okay, because like I said, I've written this thing like 3 times within the past however many years. Rebecca actually doesn't tell Giovanna or tell Ryder that Giovanna wants to go on a date with him. It's Giovanna that tells him that she wants, or Ryder asks Giovanna on a date because he has this complicated relationship with a person. I'm not going to spoil, but yeah, it like kind of makes their relationship a little more dynamic because the girl that he's in a relationship with kind of gets upset that he asked another girl on a date, which I mean, of course you would be upset that the guy you're talking to asked somebody else on a date. She's a lot more dynamic than Rebecca is. Rebecca, to me, always felt like a really flat character because she's more like, she has a lot of things going on in her life, but she doesn't really do anything. Like, she's just the catalyst in like 80,000 different things. She's the catalyst between what happens between her brother and some other person and Giovanna. She's the catalyst between what happened with another person and her ex-boyfriend. Like, there's just a lot that goes on around her and not a lot that happens to her, if that makes a lot of sense. Anyways, Rebecca, not my favorite character. She is my main character of the old version, of course, but she's definitely not my favorite. 110% not my favorite. I turned around and stopped when I noticed Brendan walking his way up to us. You grow as you right? In the middle of the baseball practice while 10 balls were being thrown around him. Is it bad that I wished all the balls would have hit him? Yes. You know, that's like this is just going to become a video of me complaining about a character that I wrote, but Rebecca just kind of like, she's just like annoying. You know, whenever you watch those movies and it's like a good movie, but the main character is just really bad, like you hate them. I don't really hate Rebecca, but it's like she wants to be quirky so bad. And that's 100% my fault. What the hell are you doing up here? Go to the bleachers, I screeched, covering my mouth once the terrible noise came out. Brendan's eyes widened when they landed on me, and he furrowed his brows. You're on the baseball team? I facepalmed myself, completely forgetting about Brendan and the fact that I now have to drive another human being home. All I know is some girl named Taylor told me I'd find you up here. I grabbed onto him and pulled him outside of the diamond gate. Go to the bleachers. I shoved Brendan toward the seats and stepped back, realizing he was staring into my eyes ever so creepily. What? I asked after looking anywhere but his eyes, but it didn't keep him from staring. Has anyone ever told you you have beautiful eyes, Rebecca? I glared back at him and he smiled a bit. You're an extremely aggressive girl. He laughed a bit and I shook my head, walking back into the gate before Coach made us run another 10 laps for me slacking. The thing about this part that doesn't make any sense is the fact that Brendan is like, it's high-key flirting, and I know that's exactly what I was trying to do whenever I wrote it. I'm sorry guys, I set my phone down right there, that's why I keep looking down. But that's the reason why I wrote it, because I was just like, ooh, imagine like this really weird not weird, but imagine this relationship with Brendan and Rebecca and like they fall in love with each other, and that was the original storyline I was going with, but it doesn't match at all because Brendan's life has been a little tragic, and the personality that I wanted for him was that he wouldn't want anything serious. He wouldn't take his life seriously. You know, everything to him was kind of just like temporary, because everything in his life has been temporary. His parents abandoned him, his brother died, his girlfriend died, his love interest died. Everyone around him dies, leaves or dies. Like, it just, nothing is stable for him. He's already moved houses about 78,000 times. Being dramatic, of course, because that's what I do. So it doesn't make sense for his personality. But this, before, I didn't really do anything based off of Brendan's personality. I kind of just did it based off of the story that I wanted to tell. And then I learned that I should probably make their personalities, you know, like make their actions fit their personalities, which is what I ended up doing in the newer version, which I feel like I should compare them because they are definitely like way better, like, or completely different. Yeah, it doesn't make sense that Brendan would say anything flirtatious at all, let alone talk to Rebecca, because he feels like the people around him die. I do find a lot of errors whenever I write, or at least whenever I wrote this, that things Brendan would do didn't match his personality at all. Things Rebecca would do didn't match her personality at all. I tried too hard to make Ryder seem like this playboy whenever in reality he probably isn't, or like in the newer version he's not a playboy at all. He's just a person that doesn't want to waste his time on relationships he doesn't think is going to go anywhere, which is the complete opposite of what he was in this story, because in this one it's like he just seems like he doesn't care about girls and he just wants to lead them on, when in reality Ryder just wants to find his true love. Like, he's a hopeless romantic. That's exactly what he is, but I didn't portray it well at all. But Giovanna, I feel like she hasn't changed that much, is definitely a lonely person. Like, she's 100% lonely because she has friends, but they're not like her real friends. And if we do continue to read this one, I don't know if we will, but if we do continue to read this one, then you guys would learn that she doesn't really feel like the life that she is living belongs to her. Yeah, money doesn't make you happy. Brendan definitely should not be trying to flirt with Rebecca, no matter how romantic I tried to make it seem. So this is supposed to be like a very tragic storyline. Brendan is supposed to be a very tragic person. I think I'm just gonna make this a series, but do like one Wattpad story, chapter 1. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and if you guys are interested in reading anything that I've written on Wattpad, because I have not written anything since, let me check, I haven't written anything since November 3rd 2019. If you guys do want to check out things on my Wattpad, then I will go ahead and leave it linked down in the description below so that you guys can check that out. My Wattpad is at Chasing Mavis. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Also, if you guys see me in this same shirt in another video, it's because I'm recording like 8 videos today. So bye bye.
Keep it up one more minute. Keep it up, you're so great. Standing, talking, you got me checkmate.